Hey there, story lovers. Welcome back to Memorable Stories. I'm your host Sophie, bringing you another enthralling tale from the world of marital drama. Today's story, titled AITA for Taking My Ex-Husband's Mistress Side in Their Fight, by Historical Sherbet 890, is a spicy one. Imagine finding common ground with the least expected person, your ex's mistress. Buckle up, as this story is a roller coaster of emotions and unexpected turns. The story begins throwaway for obvious reasons. Please don't put this on YouTube or BuzzFeed or anything similar, as this is about mine and my children's lives, and I would not want them to see this on a Minecraft video. Anyway, a long story is incoming, and I'm trying to describe this as objectively as possible. About a year ago, my husband, Jack, 39M, and I, 36F, separated with plans to divorce. Long story short, don't leave your phone on and open with the nudes you just received while you go jerk off in the bathroom. I confronted him, and he basically admitted to cheating, though he claimed it was a one-time thing. In hindsight, I probably wanted to believe that. We had a huge argument, and he agreed to go to his parents' place for a few days while I tried to figure out what to do with myself. That sinking feeling that everything is going down the drain, our lives together, all of those years, memories, our kids. It was undoubtedly the worst time in my life, and I was so angry. Jack was extremely apologetic and begged me not to go straight to divorce, saying that it was a misstep and we could work it out. I really wanted that to be true, so we went to therapy to try to talk it out. He kept saying that he would do anything to make it right, I just had to name it. But in the end, I just couldn't see how I could trust him again, so we agreed to a separation. Jack moved out, and all in all, it was rather civil. We thankfully had an apartment that I could manage the rent for on my own, and he agreed to everything I wanted done in a certain way. The only issue was our kids. I won't go into details about them, but they are between the ages of 10 to 13, 2 girls. Jack was living on a friend's couch and couldn't have the kids over for sleepovers. So, for the first 6 months, he would pick them up after breakfast on the weekend and drop them off after dinner the same day. I want to stress that I never kept the kids from him. He is a loving dad who cares greatly for them, and we agreed that it was more important for him to save on rent and find something permanent, even if it meant seeing the kids less at the beginning. They missed him but understood that it was temporary. About a month after the divorce was finalized, Jack texted me. We primarily communicated about the kids, that he had found a place to live and wanted the kids to come over for the whole weekend. Part of that hurt a lot, realizing that we were really not married anymore, but my kids come first, always. So, we arranged it for the following weekend, and they were over the moon. Frankly, I was looking forward to a weekend to myself as well. The kids came home on Sunday and wanted to tell me everything about it. Jack had found a nice place and was settled in, and there was a guest room where the kids could sleep. Everything seemed great. We decided, over text, that they could come over every other weekend so he could start seeing them more. After their third visit, the kids came home, and I just knew something was up. They were not nearly as cheery as before. I ended up sitting them down with a bowl of ice cream and started trying to talk about their visit. That's when the words, "Dad's new girlfriend," came to light. That jerk had introduced them to his new girlfriend, who is actually the owner of the apartment. He had moved in with her, and she had made herself invisible the first few times. After bedtime, I texted Jack to ask what this was about and why he hadn't let me know beforehand. Basically, he confirmed that his new girlfriend is the woman he cheated with. That felt like a knife in my heart. This whole time he had been telling me that he wanted to give me space and that I just had to say what would make it better for us to get back together. He was so thoughtful and attentive that I almost considered giving him a second chance, while he was moving in with his mistress. Ever since then, I have asked him to only contact me if it is about the kids. I want nothing to do with him besides that. The girls are definitely feeling the tension, but they do tell me that the new woman, Jane, is nice to them and really tries to give them time to get used to things, so I kind of settled into this being how things are now. Okay, now for the actual "am I the asshole" part. About 2 weeks ago, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Jane, introducing herself and apologizing for reaching out to me, but she had a concern about one of the girls and Jack was telling her it was nothing and not to worry about it. This had me pretty worried, so I agreed to meet with her at a Starbucks in town because I couldn't forgive myself if something horrible happened to my kid, and I ignored the warnings because they came from Jane. We met up, and it was super awkward because she dived right in and started apologizing for the affair. I tried to tell her that I did not want to hear it. She could tell me about my daughter, or I was leaving. She blurted out that Jack told her that we were already divorced when they met and only lived together while things were getting settled between us. That couch at a friend's house never existed. He moved right in with her. He knew the kids would give it away, so he made up that lie to hide it. I basically told her that she had 10 seconds to get to the part about my daughter, and she told me that she was going to break up with Jack and wanted me to know because she knew that this would mean another uprooting for my kids and she felt genuinely upset at having to do that. She told me she had found out because she had been cleaning up her office that he uses when working from home and had found some of the papers from the divorce and saw that the date was way off from what he had told her. I thanked her for the heads up about the breakup, because I knew my kids were going to be upset and now I had a chance to try and soften the blow. We both left, and I was just readying myself for Jack to share the news. I was confident he would go back to trying to save our marriage once the bomb fell. A little over a week goes by, and I make up an excuse to keep the kids that weekend, just in case. Still nothing, until Jane texts me again. She had confronted Jack about the papers, but he had already hidden them and spent days trying to gaslight her into believing that she must have seen it wrong and convincing her to stay together. She asked me straight up for a copy of the final document, which we both have, of course. I ended up sending her a scanned copy by email with a note that I do not want to be contacted again by her. Well, Jack got himself kicked out. He's living with his parents, for real this time, and is blowing up my phone, my email, and my work email, calling me an asshole and a vindictive bitch for getting involved in their relationship. Basically, he blames the breakup on me for getting revenge, and is telling everyone in his family and social circle that I made up lies to poison Jane against him because of the divorce. Even some of my family says I should have stayed out of it. Maybe I shouldn't have sent her those papers, but on the other hand, he put himself in this situation with his lies. She was going to find out sooner or later. Am I the asshole for giving her proof of his lies? Edit. First, I want to thank everyone who took the time to comment, and thank you to those of you who shared similar experiences. I might update at some later point, but right now everything is pretty chaotic, and I'm looking into therapy for myself. The kids are covered, because I feel like I don't even know who my husband was anymore. I called his mother last night. They are my kids' grandparents, and I want to have a good relationship with them, despite what their dad is doing. I told her that they had the right to support their son, but I wanted to tell them my side of things, and then we could decide how we move forward regarding the kids. I've always had a good relationship with my in-laws, so I figured she would be open to at least hearing me out. The call ended up being more than 2 hours because, surprise, surprise, he spun this far-out lie to them about the whole divorce and everything. That we split because he fell out of love with me and found his soulmate in Jane. That I kept the kids from him to spite him because of Jane. That I sabotaged his new relationship because I am bitter. I took the advice of many of you and just laid it out, pure facts. What happened when, nothing else. She was not too happy, to say the least. I know they had a serious talk with him because a handful of unknown numbers have been calling and texting me as fast as I can block them. I'm going low contact with a lot of people right now and just focusing on the kids and helping them through this because they didn't ask for any of this. Now, let's dive into the ocean of opinions from our viewers, shall we? User Dothanono comments, nope. You did the right thing. If he cheated with her, chances are, he'd cheat on her too. You just saved her from the pain you've been through. User Bon42 says, NTA, you only gave her what she asked for. This is on him. He cheated and continued to lie. None of this is your fault. A custody agreement might be a good idea, especially regarding new partners. And user Glitter Sparkles 7 adds, NTA, but maybe you were a bit harsh with her. She was also a victim and could have been an ally against his lie.